hi, Jenna.
Well, hi, Shelby.
How you doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
Excited to talk about some potential new books for the rest of this year.
Me too. 2024. We're
going. We're here.
We are here.
We are in 2024.
Yes. So for January, we are doing Crescent City.
Yep.
So we had A Court of Silver Flames in the very beginning of January. We have Crescent City for January, and now we're taking suggestions for February, but we also have a list.
We got a lot of ideas for the rest of the year. We've got a lot more episodes that are going to be coming out. And so Shelby and I have separately made lists of some of the books that we want to suggest to each other that we read and cover on the podcast this year. And then we're going to put it out to you guys also, let you guys vote on which episodes you might like to hear and maybe which books that we convince each other that we should read this year. So yeah, this is just going to be going through all these. I think, at least for me, all these books are books that I have not read. So
Same here.
So we only know minimal about them. So bear with us because we tend to go in fairly blind.
We do. And so it was really funny. We've been looking at summaries for the books, but clearly we have no idea what this looks like.
Yeah.
Basically, if someone suggests a book to me,
I'm like, oh yeah, that.
Yeah, that. I want to read that.
Yeah.
Which is so funny. So
yeah, start us off. What's your first book?
My first book, and I realized I have a lot of series on here, which is a
That's
lot
fine
because we've been doing a lot of series already. But I have the Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. So that's the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and then the Six of Crows duology. And it starts with Alina Starkov as she discovers she's a rare sun summoner destined to bring down the Shadow Vault.
Oh yeah, I saw the season that was on Netflix.
I did too.
But I've heard that the Six of Crows and the Crooked Kingdom is even better, and that you don't necessarily have to read both of them because it's a trilogy and a duology, right? And so I've heard the duology is like excellent.
Right. Me too. And I've heard that reading the trilogy beforehand is really good knowledge for the duology, but you don't have to. But I heard that they're also pretty YA, and so they're pretty easy to get through.
Yeah, would probably be nice, easy reads, fast reads, for sure. So that's YA fantasy.
Yes. Good. I did not put my genres on here.
That's okay.
But yes, it is YA fantasy. So yeah.
Nice. Oh, is it my turn?
It's your turn. What's your first one?
Okay, so I have mine like broken up a little bit. I've got some that are a continuation of series that we've already read. I've got some that would be like the first of, so a new series we'd be starting.
Ooh,
and then there's also some standalones and stuff in there. So it's like kind of a mix up there.
And I love it because we're in your library.
Yeah, we are. So I've got a couple physical books too. Well,
I love it.
More than a couple.
It's perfect though. It's perfect. Because I do not have any physical copies.
So the first one that I have to suggest is Feybound.
Okay.
Feybound. It's a new release. It's coming out this month. I think it's like in a couple weeks releases. And the author describes it as elves and fae, drum magic, rivals to lovers, Afro/Arab world, and queer normativity. And it's a BIPOC author. And so one of my goals of 2024 is to broaden like the types of books I read, and especially the types of authors and the types of settings or stories. Just because I think that's good for everybody to see a little bit more.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good
And
goal.
in general, I've just heard really good things about it. So that's my understanding is that it's a adult fantasy, but it might be YA. I'm not sure.
Which is awesome though, because I know that we've been reading a lot of young adult fantasy.
Yeah.
But one of your goals that you were talking about at the end of the year is that you want to read more adult fantasy.
Yeah, less of a goal and more I just feel like I probably will.
Yes.
But most of the ones on my list are adult. So
yeah, I love it though. I love it because I feel like most of mine are
YA.
Oh,
so. Nice. Well, it'll be a good flip.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my first suggestion. Also, there's just really pretty versions out there from Fairy Loot and Waterstones. So
we'll just have to buy the pretty ones, of course.
Yes, so that's my first one.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so my second one is the Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings. Have you seen those?
No.
Have you heard about them?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so it's described as Gossip Girl set in London's high society.
Oh, is it like a historical fiction?
No, I think I want to say it's
like current day.
Now I don't know. Okay. I'm just going to say I don't know. But I'll read what she's reading, has all read it.
Okay.
It Gets Good has read it, but they haven't covered them on the podcast, I don't think. I think they just talked about them briefly.
They just had good things to say about it.
Yes, and people love them.
Nice.
And so
I'm assuming like a romance. Is that what it is?
I don't know.
You have no idea.
I have no idea.
Cool. I love it.
Going in completely blind.
Nice.
As usual.
Yeah, I've not even heard of those ones, to be honest.
You might recognize the covers though, because they look like it would not be what I just described.
Oh, okay.
But who knows? Yeah, it's a series. I think it's 4 books.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
My next one is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle Jensen. So that comes out in February. That's one of my most anticipated releases of 2024. Danielle also wrote the Bridge Kingdom series. There might be a name for the series, but I always just call it the Bridge Kingdom series.
I might actually. I don't know.
Yeah. But A Fate Inked in Blood is an adult romantasy, is my understanding of it. And it's like a Norse-inspired story.
I love that.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. I've like not read a lot of Norse mythology stuff, so I think that would be kind of fun. And I really enjoyed Bridge Kingdom, so I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, I already have that one on pre-order, and
that
it has like
sounds
the
so awesome.
pretty shiny aqua edges.
Oh my gosh. Okay, babe. Well, I guess twist my arm.
So that's the next one I have on my list.
Oh my gosh. So this one would be a reread.
Okay.
Except for part of the series. So my next one is from Blood and Ash, which is where our namesake comes from. And so I believe at some point in the podcast we should cover it. Who knows if it's going to be this year. But basically, from people who don't know what that is, the maiden Poppy meets Hawk and is shown the hidden truth of her own world. And that is by Jennifer L. Armentrout.
Yeah.
And that is definitely young adult fantasy or just adult fantasy?
I would say adult romantic fantasy.
Adult romantic fantasy.
Yeah, that's probably how I'd classify it. I would assume.
I
I feel like
yeah,
it's
I
fairly
would-
graphic at some point, so I'm assuming
At
that
least
it's...
in the second book, I mean.
Yeah. So are you thinking that you'd want to cover just from Blood and Ash or the entire series?
Probably
like all
the
7 books or
entire-
whatever.
I mean, we could split it up
Yeah.
between like from Blood and Ash and then
Fire and Flesh.
yeah.
You let us know, friends.
You let us know. Would you
If
like
you'd-
that?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you'd like all of them, if you'd like one of the series,
Yeah.
let us know on that one.
So because that's where we get our name, and so I think it'd
It
be
is.
really fun to cover. The only hesitation I have with it right now is we've been doing all of the SJM reread,
Yeah.
and so it would be another reread
Reread.
for us for like the first 3 to 4 books because I've read the first 3 and then the first
I've read
one
the
and-
first 6, I
Yeah.
think. So
So it would be a big reread for both of us. So we might wait on it a little bit, but
definitely an option.
definitely an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on the same vibe, also by JLA. So
Oh my
also
gosh.
by Jennifer Armentrout is Fall of Rune and Wrath.
Oh my gosh.
So that's another adult fantasy romance.
So Jenna gave this to me when you
Nope.
bought me the book. Wasn't that the one you got me?
I got you Storm and Fury.
Oh, is that a standalone?
No.
Oh, it's
But I realized later that there was another trilogy that you're supposed to read before Storm and Fury. So that's
okay,
why
good
I
because I haven't
started.
started.
Yeah, I got them in the wrong order.
But I've seen the covers look relatively similar.
They're the same color.
Okay, that's
Yes.
what it is. I was like, it looks so similar.
Yeah, the regular US trade edition is like a aqua blue, turquoise,
thought.
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's the
Fall
same
of Rune
color.
and Wrath.
Yeah,
Well-
but I follow Rune and Wrath, and the like little sentence that that she gives is, "She lives by her intuition. He feeds on her pleasure." So my understanding is it's another adult fantasy romance, maybe heavier on the romance side is my guess.
I love it.
That just came out
It was
September or October.
Yeah.
It's a newer release for sure.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
But that would also be JLA. So
Oh,
the same
I
author
love
as from
it.
Blood and Ash.
That is awesome. That sounds fantastic. I love her as a writer.
Yeah.
She's fun. Okay, so the next one that I have, which you might want to grab your books.
Oh. You tell me which to grab.
I've got Priory of the Orange Tree and A Day of Fallen Night. Look at this.
I have a nice, pretty edition of this too.
Oh my gosh! If you're
This one
watching
is from the Broken
YouTube,
Binding. I'm
It is
obsessed with it.
beautiful.
I got to show you that naked hardback too. Hold on.
Oh my god, that's beautiful too.
Look at that.
Stop! It's all
Look at that.
gold foiled. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
Oh, I have the one. So my Priory of the Orange Tree is a paperback.
Yeah.
And then The Day of Fallen Night is a hardback, and I hate it when they don't match.
Yes.
But yeah, so those are mine. It's by Samantha Shannon, and you might have a different summary, but the one that I have is a world set in ancient rivalries, follows the lives of several characters as they navigate political intrigue, mythical creatures, and a battle for power.
Nice. No, that's good. I don't even have a summary on here.
Yeah.
I think there's dragons. That's all I know.
There's dragons. This was in a TikTok that I saw that if you like Fourth Wing, you'll like this book.
Well, and I think it's somewhere set, maybe somewhere in Asia. That's the other thing I know. That's literally all I know about it. That it's supposed to be really good. I think it's a sapphic romance. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. We go in super blind. So what we read.
But yes, that was on my list. It's funny. That was in my stack and not even on my list.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I just knew
we've been talking about these two books since we started the podcast.
Yeah.
We had like this whole list. And then once we got into SJM, it was like, okay, nothing else for the next like month and a half, 2 months.
It'll be fun to have some new books too.
I think so too. What's your next one?
My next one I feel like is all over BookTok right now. Powerless.
Shut up. I have that one too.
Yeah. Literally the only things I know is that it's a newer YA fantasy. The sequel is coming out sometime early in 2024.
Yeah.
And all I know is that people are obsessed and that the male love interest is people are really obsessed with him. Literally all I know.
Same here.
And I'm okay with that.
And a little bit of the summary that I have is forbidden romance between a powerful prince and an ordinary girl, surviving kingdom's laws. Couldn't read my own dang handwriting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have seen that everywhere over TikTok. I would love to cover that one.
Yeah, recently. I think that would be a really good one. And that's YA too. So it would probably be a faster book. And I think a lot of our book friends would probably like following that one. I think so too. So I think that's a good one on there.
That's one that I'll read what she's reading just did for their book club. It was either December or November.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so I feel like people are just loving that book right now.
Nice. Good. Yeah.
So
it'd be fun. Maybe something to do right before the next one comes out. Reckless, I think is maybe the second one.
Yes. Good idea. Very good idea. Okay. So the next one that I have is the Caraval series. And
trilogy, right?
Yep, it's a trilogy. So it's Caraval. Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember the last
Yeah, I don't remember the other two.
But apparently they're really good. It's a trilogy following two sisters, Scarlet and Teledragna, who have never left their home island.
Yeah, and it's the prequel for Once Upon a Broken Heart, right?
Yep. It's funny you say that.
Is that also on your list?
That's my next one, because you read Caraval and then you read Once Upon a Broken Heart.
Yeah.
And apparently, so Once Upon a Broken Heart is Evangeline Fox tries to stop her stepsister from marrying the love of her life.
Ooh.
And everybody says Caraval's good, but Once Upon a Broken Heart is the best.
Yeah, I've kind of heard that too, that the first, kind of almost like we were just talking about with Six of Crows, that the first trilogy is like good.
Yeah.
But the second part is great.
Yeah. So I just gave two of them. So
yeah. Well, here I'll catch up.
What's next?
So the next I have a physical copy of, I think. Ooh. Hold on.
Oh, stop. Which one is she gonna grab? Which one is it? Oh my God.
Babel.
So, yes.
And part of it is I know that we both have physical copies of this.
Yes, we do. This is funny. It was on my TBR for November or October.
Yeah, it was on mine for October too.
Neither of us read it.
So it's a dark academia. It's historical epic fantasy. And my understanding, it's kind of like rise against attitude. It's like the student revolution.
Oh my gosh.
Like maybe a little more serious of a read in some ways, but I think it's a standalone and it's supposed to be phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And we both already own it.
Exactly. So funny. That was on my list too. But because I know that we both really wanted to read it.
Yeah, that helps.
Neither one of us got around to it.
Well, so I'll catch up with the second one too, since you went through two of them already. So there was a couple places. I think there was a TikTok follower and someone on YouTube that suggested Dark Rise.
Oh.
Yeah, which is, from my understanding of reading about it, like a lighter fantasy. Not light. I'm not sure if it's light necessarily in topics, but maybe not like super epic fantasy, like just little bits of fantasy elements. I think it's a YA queer romance also. Yeah, I don't know. It's got really good ratings.
Dark Rise.
Dark Rise.
That sounds interesting.
That was one that one of our followers suggested.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That sounds awesome. I love the suggestions we get from our followers.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good ones.
Especially because if people have listened to like what we've already covered, they're like, I think you would really like this. That's so fun to me.
I love getting suggestions. Yeah.
Same. The next one I have, and I don't know if you've read this yet, but it's A Dance of Thieves.
Nope, I haven't read that yet either.
I have the first one, and I have it with really pretty gold edges on it, and it is so beautiful. And it is by Mary E. Pearson.
Is it just a duology or is it a trilogy?
It's just a duology. Sometimes those are so nice.
Yeah, it's like kind of set with another series too, though, right? Kind of like Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart.
I'm actually not sure.
For some reason, I'm remembering that maybe there's other books that go in that world too.
Oh.
Or maybe ones that were supposed to read before. We should look up because I kind of think there are, because I remember that being like roughly on my TBR a couple years ago when I got in booktok too.
Oh my gosh. No,
but I never read
I'm not
it.
sure, so we'll have to look up before we read, but very interesting. A very brief summary is a street thief leading a mission to prove herself, and there's a dark secret that is a threat to the entire continent. Yeah. I've heard wonderful things about
Yeah,
that.
I've heard good things about Dance of Thieves too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting. What's your next one?
Okay. My next one is The Darkness Outside Us.
I have never even heard of that.
In 3 words, it was described to me as a queer interstellar thriller.
Interesting.
So I think it's like a little bit more of a sci-fi thriller almost.
Oh.
With queer romance. I don't know. That was very up my alley.
Yes.
You don't read as much sci-fi, but it was
I'm open to it.
To throw a little bit of I saw it recommended as a like lighter sci-fi, like maybe for people who don't read a lot of sci-fi, it could be a good option. So
oh my gosh.
yeah, so that was on the list too.
Side
that was
note,
another one of our followers, I think, suggested that one.
Cute. I love that. Side note, did you finish the Murder Bot?
I think I've read 4 of them.
Yeah.
5 of them. I think there may be another 1 or 2 out. I'm not sure.
I love it. I've
been picking away. Yeah, I love those ones.
Here, do another one.
Do another one? Okay. Yeah. I also have... Let me get it.
Which one will it be?
I've got Masters of Death. This is the
gosh,
Bookish box version.
So pretty.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's like pink and blue and purple.
Yeah, it's very, very
Oh my gosh,
bright.
it's so beautiful.
But it's by Olivia Blake, who's the same author as the Atlas 6.
Yes.
That series. And I'm pretty sure the main character is like a realtor and she's trying to sell a haunted house.
Stop. That's so
which sounds kind of cute. So they're trying to solve the murder, I think, of like one of the ghosts in the house that's like haunting or something. That's kind of my understanding. Like I said, I go in pretty blind, so I might be not describing that well. But I loved the Atlas 6.
I did too.
And so I'm just curious to read more of Olivia Blake's stuff.
Have you read the series to Atlas 6? Like, have you read the second one?
Yeah, we'll also bring that up. And
yeah.
Funny you should say that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm holding the Atlas Paradox, but
oh my gosh,
the Atlas
so
Complex is coming out.
When does?
Early this year. I don't know. I don't remember exactly when, but I know the Atlas Complex comes out probably like Q1 this year. So I actually also have that on this list because I'm pretty sure you've read both Atlas 6 and Atlas Complex, right?
No, I've only read the Atlas 6. I haven't
Or
even
Paradox,
read. Nope,
right?
I haven't read the Atlas Paradox yet.
Oh.
I've only read Atlas 6.
Well, we could talk about it, but yeah, the Atlas Paradox comes up pretty soon, and that's another one of my anticipated releases for 2024.
Oh my gosh.
So
look at god.
Oh yeah, I have the Waterstones edition.
It is so beautiful, and it's so funny because I have the paperback version of the Atlas 6. But we talked about it a couple months ago, and I was like, I know I'm going to continue on with the series, so I might as well just buy all of the Waterstones.
They're so pretty.
They're so pretty. They're like black and white, and they have these like really beautiful designs. And I didn't make any notes or anything in my hardback, so I'm like, or my paperback. So I'm like, I might as well just buy the pretty versions of it.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, so those are both Olivia Blake that would be on my list for
such a great writer. I love it. I love it. My next one, which you might want to is Chasm.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. And we have the same exact copy of it because Jenna got it for me for my birthday.
Yeah, this is the like Lit Crate version. Signed, We love you, Stacy.
We love you, Stacy.
Look at how pretty it is. Yeah, we both gave Ledge a strong 5 stars.
Yes,
we were
we
obsessed
did.
with it. We have an episode already out on Ledge too.
Our
and
funniest episode
the
that we have ever.
drunkest episode for sure.
We were so drunk. We had to cut so much stuff out of us doing ASMR. It was so funny, but we had so much fun recording this episode, and we loved this book, and so we've been so excited to do this.
So I'm pretty pumped. I would
too.
really love to cover Chasm this year too.
100%.
And Stacy is really active on BookTok and has a really funny account. So if you don't already follow her, I think she's like at Stace Book Space or something like that. But really funny.
She is so funny. If you're looking to turn your boyfriend into a book boyfriend, she has all of the instructions for you.
So that's definitely one that I have.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
This year too. Yeah.
What's your next one you've got?
What else I got here? I got.
Oh.
This is a fun little surprise to see me pulling from this.
I love it so much.
I've got
Yay!
Legendborn.
I had this one too.
So I think similar to like Caraval and Six of Crows and all that stuff. I think this probably came out sometime around a similar timing.
I think
this
so.
is not older, but maybe like a year or two old. Yeah, I don't know very much about it except that it's supposed to be a fantastic YA fantasy. It's only a duology. It's a BIPOC author. Yeah, that's really all I know. I've heard it's supposed to have really cool magic and like a really unique magic system. And part of it is set at UNC Chapel Hill.
Stop!
Which is where I went to school.
That's your alma mater.
Yeah, go Tar Heels.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So that made me also want to read it because I love Chapel Hill. So I'm like very curious to
I love it because this is one of the first books we ever talked about.
Yeah.
Like we had a master list. And this was one of the first ones on it. Yeah. And we both have a physical copy.
Yeah, so that's another one that could be good too.
Yay! Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it so much. Okay. I see another one right there.
Yeah.
Grab the Poppy War by Rebecca Kwong, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And I do not have this book yet, but it is like on my to buy when I am off of my book buying ban because I am on my book buying ban right now. Minus stuff we do for the podcast. So in that case, but yeah, we've both been also seeing this on TikTok everywhere.
Yeah, I've had a physical copy actually for a really long time. And
Have
it's
you?
somehow just a book that I've not gotten to. I probably owned it for almost a year. And it's just, I don't know. I just keep not picking it up. Not for any specific reason. It just.
We've had other books.
Yeah, it hasn't been the one I've grabbed. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a grim, dark adult fantasy, kind of war-ish.
Exactly.
I think also maybe set somewhere in Asia. But
yeah. So we have, for a brief summary, a passionate yet ruthless Fang Runin, and nickname is Rin, who grows up poor and orphaned, studies to get into an elite military academy, and develops multiple gifts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even read that description. Clearly, all of mine are like so generic.
I had literally no idea what any of these were about before we started talking about it.
Yeah, so. I've heard that Poppy War really changes you reading it, kind of thing.
That's what I've heard too.
It's supposed to be really
like
good,
a very
but really
emotional.
Twins.
Twins.
Okay, so my next one is also probably something that's not on your list, but this is How You Lose the Time War.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's I think sci-fi-ish, probably sci-fi.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's also a sapphic romance, to my understanding. But there's basically people. Kind of reminds me of Divine Rivals. Now I think about it. There's people exchanging letters between the past and the future. There's like a war going on. I don't know, and there's somehow like communication between the past and the future. And that's really all I know about it.
That's so interesting.
But again, I've heard really good things and it's really highly rated. And I love sci-fi stuff too. So, and I don't see very many sci-fi romances. So,
I mean, I'm definitely open to delve more into that sci-fi. So let's give it a try.
So that's another option.
I love it. I love it so much. So I actually only have one more on my list. So let's give you another go.
Oh, well, I think two of ours are probably easy. So
yes.
I'll put this on there. Holding the wrong one, but Ruthless Vows just came out a couple weeks ago.
Like right before Christmas.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of it yet, but we already did Divine Rivals for the podcast, and I know you're like extra excited to read Ruthless Vows
so
too. So I think that could be an easy one to do a continuation of a series.
Absolutely.
For
Because we both rated Divine Rivals really highly, even if we had very different things we were picking out of it.
Yeah.
Which that was a really fun episode to do too.
Yeah. So I think that's good.
I think so too.
That'll be fun too.
Exactly.
I'm like really curious how Divine Rivals left off. I'm like really curious to see what Ruthless Vows is going to look like.
So and people have said it was great.
Really good. Yeah. Yes. I've like not really seen very much about it yet. So.
I've only seen like a couple of people that like I follow on Goodreads that have posted about it, but I just got my book of the month with it in it.
Nice.
And so I'm super excited to read it.
Good.
I'm glad you'd be open to doing a podcast on it too. That'd be a fun one.
I mean, I gave it 4 stars. I still really liked it. It just wasn't necessarily my top read of the year, but I mean, I did really enjoy it.
It was very emotional. So I wonder if the second one's going to be as emotional as the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
And one that we have.
Yeah, this is another one where continuation of a series that we already talked about, right? We already talked about Fourth Wing. And we both have already read Iron Flame.
Yes.
We just haven't talked about it. So I think that's another one we could go back. I've got so many theories, and I know that you do too.
Oh, so, absolutely.
That would be kind of like how our SJM deep dives have been like really deep in the theories. I think that this would also be really deep in the theories.
I think so too. And we have both. So we did a part 1 and a part 2 to our Fourth Wing.
Yep.
What was it? June or July? It was like one of the first ones that we did.
Yep.
And so we were both really excited to read Iron Flame. And so yeah.
Iron Flame is another option.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Do you want to do your last one? I know I've got a couple more over here.
Oh no, you're fine. So this one was a comment that we got on YouTube. And it's by Melissa Rorick, Lady of Darkness series.
Ooh.
And the summary on it is jilted lover and mysterious newcomer who claims the magic of the Fae is possible in mortal lands.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I've actually, after I saw the comment, I've been seeing it on TikTok a little bit.
Yeah, I saw it around, I feel like I've seen it around TikTok a little bit too.
I can picture the cover and everybody says, if you love SJM, you're going to love this series.
Yeah, I have actually seen that one around too. I didn't have that one written down though.
So I feel like that'd be a really fun one to cover.
Yeah.
And from a subscriber.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I love it.
Nice. Okay, let me grab another one here.
Oh, heck yes. I see which one you're grabbing.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I've got Tress of the Emerald Sea.
And you haven't read it, right? Yeah.
Nope. I gave this to Shelby for Christmas also, so I know she has a copy. But yeah, it's a standalone Brandon Sanderson. And if you aren't familiar with Brandon Sanderson, he is a mostly high fantasy author. He has a crap ton of books out.
Oh, my gosh. He's amazing.
But he's really great. This is supposed to be like a good entry point, I think, for people who haven't read a lot of Brandon Sanderson too, and more of like a cozy fantasy.
Oh my gosh,
where I get kind of like
that.
cozy fantasy pirate vibes almost.
Oh my gosh.
About a girl who likes to collect cups is my understanding.
Stop. I love that.
Yep.
And the book that she gave me, she spray painted the edges.
Yeah, I gave you some gold edges on yours because you didn't have this.
Beautiful.
I couldn't get you in this version. But yeah, I think
we're both really excited to read this one.
Yeah, and I just love Brandon Sanderson. So.
Same. I've only read Mistborn, but 2024, I'm going to finish the Mistborn series, and I want to get more into some of the other stuff because you've talked so highly about them, and I'm like, I want to get more into that too. Yeah. A little bit, except now that I've read so much young adult fantasy, like I want to get more
graduate into adult.
Exactly.
Yeah. There is a little bit of that path. I think there's a lot of people who start reading a lot of YA, or like even like YA romance fantasy or something. And then after a little bit, they're like, because I feel like everyone keeps commenting and being like, oh, but is it spicy? Is it spicy? I'm like, guys, it's YA. It's not supposed to be spicy.
Yeah. Where Brandon Sanderson, I feel like what I've read from him isn't
romantic.
Spicy. It's
not romantic.
Yeah.
It's an epic fantasy usually. Yes. Warbreaker, I think is maybe what it's called.
Oh yeah. You just read that recently, right?
No, I just bought it.
We just bought it.
Warbreaker is supposed to be a little bit on the more romantic side, I think, but generally speaking, his books are like spicy. Maybe a very minor romance subplot, but like extremely minor.
More fantasy.
It's more about the story.
Adventure.
It's more adventure.
Yes. I like that. Adventure fantasy.
Yes. So that is that one. So the next one I have is Jade City, which is a trilogy adult fantasy. And it's like an urban fantasy. And its description that I saw was Godfather-esque saga of intergenerational feuds, vicious politics, magic, and kung fu.
Stop. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, so that sounds really awesome. So I've also heard that that's like in the top series for a lot of people who like high fantasy. So
I've heard it's in the realm of oh my gosh, what's the one that you love that you recommended for me? And it's kind of like an Asian fantasy.
Oh, City of Brass. The David trilogy.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, that one is so great too.
And I know you love that one.
It was really good. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I've actually really been wanting to read Jade City, so I think that's perfect.
Oh, nice. Yeah. They look like fat books, but I've heard they're so good.
Hell yeah.
So yes. Okay. So my next one I've got, because I have a million.
I love it.
Is the 5th season. This is another one where I'm like 100% blind. I know it's supposed to be great. I think it's a sci-fi / fantasy thing. It's adult.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know any more than that. I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay going in blind.
We love going in blind.
Yeah, but I've heard a lot of people put this like in the top with some Brandon Sanderson with Jade City with like.
So it would be more adult.
Yeah, definitely.
And it looks like it's the Broken Earth. It's
the Broken Earth trilogy. It's a trilogy. I know that.
Cool. That sounds really interesting. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, if somebody says something is good, we're gonna read it.
For sure. So yeah, so that's one of them. There's a couple of those in here for sure.
That's perfect.
I don't really mind. Okay, another one that I don't know very much about, but it's on my list. The Shadow of the Gods.
Oh, I've seen that too. Yep, I've seen that all over TikTok.
Yeah, I think it's like John Gwynn or something maybe.
That sounds right, but I could be totally
It's like a white cover with a dragon on it. Ooh. So I know it's adult fantasy. I think there's dragons.
Oh, we love dragons.
I know that it's supposed to be very highly rated, and that's again about all I got.
Oh my gosh, love it.
We're getting into those ones here.
I love it.
On a similar front, this was having a little bit of a moment on booktok, although I don't think a big one. The Will of the Many. So this is, again, I think an adult fantasy.
I love it. We're trying to transition a little bit.
Yeah, but I think it's got like a school setting to my understanding.
I love it.
A little bit of a school setting. But I had a lot of people on TikTok really say that this is going to be like the next big fantasy. That it was really that good. And again, I think it was like over 4.3 on Goodreads or something. I mean, it was really highly rated.
People loved it.
But yeah, I don't know much beyond that besides that I think it's a school setting. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love it. We're going to have so much of a list. I love it so much.
I know. I'm almost done, I promise.
You are just fine.
I only have
You're
2 more.
perfectly fine. I love adding a list because we want to ask our followers too. Like, what do you guys want us to read?
Yeah.
Like, are there any huge recommendations that you have for us?
Yeah. Anything we missed?
Yeah, we love it.
Okay, so I've got 3 more and then I'll be done.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
The first one, Red Rising.
I got this from I think I got it from my sister for Christmas.
Nice.
And I got this for you.
Yes, you got this for me for Christmas.
Have you opened the cover?
No. Should I? Oh.
I left you a note.
Oh, that's so sweet. I didn't even notice. I love you too. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I've been wanting to read Red Rising for a while. I love sci-fi, and I've heard that this is great. And I've heard that Lightbringer, the 5th one that just came out like last year, has gotten really highly rated. And there's a booktok account that we follow, Maddie and
the sisters.
Yeah, they're 2 sisters, 2 brunette sisters who seem super awesome, and they also were just like raving about Red Rising because they both read it this year, and it just sounds like the type of book
it really does love. And it's more in the sci-fi area, I know that you love that.
I do.
So my good friend from college, Miranda, just read I think all of them. I know she's at least read through 4, and I don't know if she's read, I don't know, but she highly recommends it. She's in our monthly group club, book club, and she highly recommends it.
Nice.
She loved them, and when she said they were more like sci-fi, I was like, oh, Jenna would love this.
Yes, I will definitely love that.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
So I got that. Okay, and then my last 2.
No, I love it.
We've been talking about the Adventures of Amina too. But this was another one that I think we both have a physical copy of.
Yeah, we both have Book of the Month.
Book of the Month ones. Mm-hmm. And this is the same author as the David trilogy, as City of Brass. That one.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is the same author. And this is like a pirate story one. But again, that's like maybe all I know is that it's a pirate story one, but I absolutely loved City of Brass. So it's made me excited to potentially read this one too.
Oh my gosh. I have the first City of Brass sitting at home. I'm excited to read that one for this year.
And then the final one on a completely different note. Zodiac Academy 9.
Oh, yes. I don't know why I didn't put that in here because I completely forgot it was coming out because I hated the last book.
Yeah, so we've both
hated 8.5.
We both feel a little bit committed at this point. We've read Zodiac Academy 1 through 8 and 8.5. And I've read like a couple of the, I don't know, novella short story things.
And so have I.
So I feel invested enough to finish the series, even though how 8.5 left off, I'm like, I just am kind of over it, but I feel like I'm going to read it just because it's the last one and I have to. I'm too committed. So that's supposed to come out in April and honestly might be kind of funny. It actually,
okay, honestly, we should probably do that one.
Yeah.
We did 8.5
and
we had, I hated the book.
I didn't hate it as strongly as you did. I just didn't think it was necessary.
Skipped entire point of views. And
you missed information in it, but I shared it with you in the podcast.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so if you also skipped the bridging novel because you thought it was useless, which it kind of was, if you watch our short episode on it, or listen to it, I think we covered all the main plot points you need to know.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, I mean, I'll definitely still read it. Maybe it would be funny to do a podcast on it, actually.
So that's the last one I've got.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I've got quite the stack.
It's the last one.
It's the last one of, finally they're going to be done with that series.
I know. Are you still drinking out of your Zodiac Academy cup?
Oh, I am.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
This Zodiac Academy cup is from the Bookish box.
You got some really good stuff in the Bookish box. What did you get this month?
Oh, I got the Spanish Love Deception. Honestly, I could add that to the list for February too.
I'd be down with that. Maybe do it as our monthly book club or something.
Yeah, the Spanish Love Deception is supposed to be like a rom-com, I think. And I'm pretty sure it's like a girl is like attending a wedding, I think, in Spain, and she is like brings with like a fake date. I think it's a fake dating thing.
Oh my gosh, that's
pretty sure.
funny.
Again, I'm sorry if I butcher that because that might be wrong. I haven't read it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and it's supposed to be a really good rom-com, which I think would be good for February.
I think so too, for Valentine's Day month.
Yeah, so I got that.
What do you think, book club?
Yeah, and I got a really cute hat from them for in that box too.
Yeah, you can't see it in the photo, or in the video, but it says
fantasy reader on it.
So cute, so cute, and
and I got
you can see it in the video.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
If you can see the Miss Willa's book club in the corner, there's like it's a magnetic letterboard.
It's so cute.
Yes, that was all in that same box. It was a really good box.
That is a good box.
Yeah.
I feel like because they've been lacking a little bit.
They're just a little late. I think anybody who subscribes to the Bookish box is aware that they're a little behind schedule, but I infrequently find the boxes lacking once they arrive. It's just a matter of them actually getting here.
If it actually gets here. I know. And it's so unfortunate because part of me was like, oh, now that I'm like have an adult job and I like am making money, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do the Bookish box. But like people are saying they're not getting it and it's taking months.
Yeah, I don't want to bash the Bookish box, but I just wish that they wouldn't try and communicate that things are going to be there earlier and keep pushing it back.
Yeah.
I wish they would just give a realistic date from the beginning because like in the early fall or something, they tried to communicate that they were going to be totally caught up by the end of the year.
Right. And then
they're doing September right now and it's January. I mean, it's fine. I just wish they wouldn't lie.
You paid for it so long ago. Yeah.
Well, it's just, I wish they wouldn't say, oh yeah, we're going to be caught up by the end of the year and then not actually do it. Like, I would rather them be like give a really far out guess and then pull it in versus vice versa.
Did you see that they're doing the Carissa Broadbent? And again, another thing, they were announcing it in August and September, but like they announced it, but now I think they said it was like late December that you were going to be able to like pre-order, but I still don't think we've been able to do that yet. And so
I'm not sure if I feel like it probably
War
went
of
on
Lost
sale.
Hearts series. That's what it is.
I don't know if it might have gone on sale already. I didn't buy it because I didn't like the art.
Oh, really? I didn't even see it.
I feel like they might have shown a little bit of the art and I didn't really like it. But that's because I actually really like the original covers for the War.
They're really cool.
Of Lost Arts too. Yeah. There was a couple special editions that they announced recently that
you're like, meh.
Yeah.
I like the original.
Yeah, I just like the originals enough. And that's why like the Broken Bonds too. Like I like the original covers.
I do
so
too.
I didn't feel the need to get a different version.
I know. I liked that they did that because I love the Broken Bond series, but I read it all on my Kindle.
I know, I did too. I actually don't have them in physical copies.
Yeah, I loved that one. Anything else you're really excited to read? Maybe not for the podcast this year?
But just in general?
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to finish the Stormlight Archives this year. So that's all of the rest of the ones. I've got Words of Radiance already on my shelf.
And that's what was the first one again?
Why am I blanking on it right now? The Way of Kings.
Way of Kings, yes.
Yep.
I was like, it was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to read all those because the next Stormlight book comes out in December, I think.
Stop. There's a
the very end of this year, I think, is when the fifth Stormlight Archives book is supposed to come out.
I love it.
So, and I think it just has a working title right now. I'm not sure it actually has been a formal title, but yeah, I'm definitely going to read that this year. Most of the ones that I suggested, even if we don't read them for the podcast,
still gonna read them.
I probably will read.
I love it. Same thing. I love it though, because all the ones that you suggested are also all on my TBR. Minus some of the like ones that we haven't already talked about, but same thing.
Yeah, I also I really want to read Between Wrath and Mercy, which honestly I could suggest for the podcast too, but it's I think like a heavier on the romance side, romantic fantasy with an older female main character. I think she's like 30 and curvy.
Ooh, we love that.
Yeah, and I have a Bookish box version of that too. And I've heard it's a book where they have really good banter too. So
we love that.
That I'm definitely gonna read. Earlier this year, I'll probably read None of This Is True. That's
by Lisa Jewell.
Yes. So that's a psychological thriller that I've heard is really good.
I've read it.
Have you? Was it good?
It was really good. Yeah. It was really good. It was just you're left at the end being like, what? But what actually happened?
Oh.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so that's that I want to read earlier this year.
I listened to it on Audible, so I wonder if it would be different reading it hard copy.
Yeah.
So that'll
I
interesting.
Started the Fragile Threads of Power, so I'll definitely finish that.
Yeah.
That was the continuation of the Shades of Magic series.
Because you read the first of them on your Kindle, right?
Yeah,
and now you have
trilogy.
A really pretty copy of Fragile Threads of Power.
Yeah, I have the Waterstones version of that too.
It's so beautiful.
And the last one is Hellbent.
Oh my gosh, I haven't read that either.
Yeah, I read Ninth House forever ago, and then I feel like Hellbent didn't come out for a long time, and now it's been so long.
Yeah,
I don't remember what happened in Ninth House.
Well, in Ninth House, a lot happens, and it's very confusing.
Yeah.
And I bought Hellbent with Book of the Month.
Same.
And I'm like, I'm going to read it at some point, but
not high in
Ninth House was great. The last 50 pages were incredible. You learn a lot, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to get into. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. I remembered you felt that way, so that's why I didn't put Hellbent in the pile for continuation.
I'll read it eventually.
But yeah, that's what I got. I'm trying to think. I think that's maybe it. Oh, the only other one too. I don't know when it's coming out. I'm kind of hoping it's this year, but I think the next book in Amber Palmer's The Night Runs Red, I feel like she maybe mentioned the second one was supposed to come out this year.
Right.
Which is another like heavy romantic fantasy, vampires, hot.
Oh, so hot. She is the best at writing romance.
So,
oh my gosh,
so that's in there too.
Amber Palmer stand account.
Yes, that's what I got.
I love it.
What about you?
Okay, so I have to finish the Mistborn series. So I read the first one before we started the SJM deep dive, and we have spent all of our time doing that. And so I have to finish that series. I also have The Serpent and Dove. I'm reading Blood and Honey right now. And
that's the second one.
Right. And I'm like halfway through it, and I love it. It's such a quick, easy read.
Nice.
I didn't realize how much I had forgotten about the first one. And so
that happens.
Unfortunately, though, like it's not hitting as hard. It's kind of like I'm just like making my way through it. Like I unfortunately don't care about the characters that much. I'm working my way through it. And then there's the third one, Gods and Monsters. And so I want to finish that series this year.
Yeah, close it out.
Right. And then there's a bunch that we already covered on the podcast. Other than that, I can't think of anything else on my shelves. If we don't do From Blood and Ash this year, I'll probably start continuing. Yeah, because I stopped in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I feel like once we started the podcast, we got busy with some other books, and you didn't necessarily continue the series. Did you even read The War of Two Queens?
No, I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, you are pretty far behind for sure. I think it's just the most recent one that I haven't read yet. I think it was just Soul of Ash and Blood.
Right.
Well, and then Visions of Flesh and Fire is supposed to either just came out or is about to come out. One of the two. I can't remember. But to be fair, she has like 3 books in that world that are all coming out this year. So there was like a lot back to back.
There's a lot coming up. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot in the series. We've heard some things about the series on like whether to continue or whether not to continue. And
I mean, I know that there's plenty of haters out there on it, and maybe there was a little bit of a lull. I enjoy the series.
I do too. So. I do too. Especially once we got to like the second series.
Flesh and Fire.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love like going back and forth with these ones. So I love it. Let me look at your shelves and see if there's anything
else calls out to you.
Yeah.
I know you haven't. Oh, this would be like, again, a really big mix up for you, but I would reread it just because I'm obsessed with them. Dark Matter, I feel like it's having a moment on TikTok again.
Which one is it?
Dark Matter or Recursion. Those are both Blake Crouch, standalone sci-fi, and I think very easily digestible sci-fi. It's like a very good entry point to sci-fi. They're almost like thrillers, like almost like a murder mystery type.
I'd definitely be down for that.
Short. I think they're really easy to read, but they kind of make you think.
Oh, I like that. I'd definitely be down for that.
Those are 2 of my like favorite books of all time.
Well, it's funny because like we both suggested both like series that we could be doing, and so sometimes it's nice to just put a good standalone.
Yeah, I tried to put a good stack of standalones in those suggestions too, for sure.
I love it because I'm looking at Amina Sarafi.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we've been talking about that for so long. It's just been sitting on my shelf. I have so many book of the months that I need to read.
Yeah, I've skipped a lot of months now because I was really behind on book of the month.
Yeah. And I skipped a bunch of months, but then I got December because I really wanted the second one to Divine Rivals, Ruthless Vows. And so I got that one, and then I got another book. And then I just did January. And I feel like from book of the month, they always do thrillers.
There's a lot of good thrillers that always come through there. I can almost always rely on book of the month to have good thrillers.
I recently read The Writing Retreat.
Oh, yeah. I've got that one up there from my mother-in-law.
Right. And so I think I read it in either August or September. Read it in one sitting. I loved it. It was so good.
I really feel like if you like thrillers, book of the month is super reliable for
They don't have a lot of great fantasy.
No, I've gotten a couple of fantasy books I've not read from them. Although my Legendborn is actually from them.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I feel like they're really good at literary fiction and like historical fiction and thrillers and stuff. But yeah, they definitely focus more on that. I think that fantasy is a smaller space.
I think, overall. Which is so funny because like since that's what we like and
it's all over what we see.
It's all of our social media, which I love because we're shown so many awesome books and stuff. So again, we love recommendations.
Yeah.
Give us some options. Give us what you would love to see out of what we've already said today.
Yeah. Or if you have other suggestions that we didn't say. Or again, if you're an author and you want us to talk about it, let us know.
Right. Just a reminder on Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, we have a question and answer like response type form that shows up on the bottom. So if you swipe up when you're listening, you can type out a response. And so if you want to give us some recommendations, let us know what you want to hear from 2024. If there's a specific book in here that you like, let us know. We would love to read what you guys want to hear.
Yeah. Awesome. That's all I got for today.
Yay for 2024.
Yay for 2024.
Perfect. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Bye.